Street is?
Of course.
Of course. What is Black Wall Street?
Well, back in around 1977 when I first learned that my DNA father was from Tulsa, I learned about this whole riot back in 1977.
Okay.
And Black Wall Street. So I've got a little bit of an advantage. I've actually lived there, been there, done everything. Been to Wall Street, the original Black Wall Street several times. My family. I go home, I go to Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Tulsa is just one of the Black Wall Streets. Black Wall Street, in essence, is a black business district or black business community. Some are big, like Tulsa. Tulsa's was 36 square blocks. 36 square blocks of black-owned businesses. But it wasn't the only one. It wasn't even the first. But it was the most memorable, the most magnanimous. There was also a Black Wall Street, how you doing? In Richmond, Virginia. Black Wall Street down there. Anybody know about Virginia? No. Yeah. There's a place called Jackson Ward. And every black woman in here should know about Jackson Ward and Black Wall Street in Richmond because it was a woman who was the most famous person there. And she was the first woman of any race to charter a bank. Anybody know her name? I got a 20 for you.
Walker. I didn't know it wasn't Walker from before.
All right, oh, you 20.
I know all the answers, I'll tell you.
Do you? All right, we can break question. He said, all of Miss Jacqui, her name was Maggie Lena Walker.
It wasn't from Madam Walker, C.J. Walker?
No,
Not C.J., another Walker.
Okay, Miss Jacqui, this is my show. Her name was Maggie Lena Walker, and she was the first woman of any race to charter a bank. There was a third Black Wall Street, and anybody know about North Carolina's Black Wall Street? Wilmington, that sounds nice, but that wasn't it. Say it again, Mr. DeShield. The anchor institution was North Carolina Mutual Insurance Company, one of the oldest black life insurance companies in the country, and it was in Durham. So those are the three official Black Wall Streets. But the more I dug, and I got 5 copies of a book over here. Is the book right there?
Yes.
I Am Black Wall Street. I wrote this book. Come on through. Hot food coming through. Thank you, big brother. Got 5 copies if you happen to want to know some of the history. What I learned, the more I dug, the more history I found. For instance, in Florida, I'm ready to blow your mind. In Florida, they would have us think that all black people were descendants of slaves. I want you all to know that that is not true. As a matter of fact, the first black man who stepped on to the coast of Florida was a Spanish conquistador. I write about him in this book that I tell you. His name was Juan Garrido. The Spanish and the Portuguese were into slavery 100 years before the British. So that's who colonized North America, and that's why we speak English. But the truth is there were black people already in this country when the European arrived. Did you know that? We were already here. Some people call us indigenous, Native Americans. My great-grandma was Blackfoot Indian. Anybody got Indian in their family? Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Get that Jacqui, get the pan. Get the pan. And it's almost as if we aren't supposed to be proud of our indigenous ancestry when truth be told, it's a reminder that everything you hear in school about your history from other people is probably a lie. Because a lot of them don't even know their own history. So how in the heck can they tell you yours? I encourage you all to look up your history, look up who you are, look up where you come from. If you have elders, grandmas, great-grandmas, get all of their information, write it down. Because when they're gone, they're gone. You can't ask them when they're gone, so you gotta write it down. Also, about indigenous peoples, just for the sake of information, the United States government didn't really recognize them. So if you go back before 1835, you won't find a lot of records. And that's when they started merging black people and Indians together. I'm not talking about the Indians that came through the Bering Strait, because they will tell you that they were here first. That's 12,000 years ago. But in this book, I tell you about a black woman with a big forehead named Lucia. She had a big head. She had a 5 head. Her name was Lucia. Look her up. Luzia in Brazil. And her bones are 12 to 14,000 years old. That's why all them Brazilian girls got that, little chump right there. And I mean that jokingly. But we need to know our history so we stop allowing other people to tell us our history. Let me fast forward. 3 more things I want you to know. Any New Yorkers in here? Any New Yorkers? Anybody New York? Any New Yorkers? New York. Central, there's the New York. You're a New Yorker? Central Park, Seneca Village, in between 82nd Street and 89th Street. It was a black independent town. Independent black town called Seneca Village, and it goes back to 1828. Over in Brooklyn, 1835, a place called Weeksville. We actually did a Black Wall Street in Weeksville. And thirdly, here in Baltimore. Baltimore. Anybody ever heard of Joseph Locke's Funeral Home? Joseph Locke's Funeral Home goes back to 1835, one of the oldest black family businesses in America. Also in East Baltimore. Where did we start? East side or west side of Baltimore? East side, because that's where the water was, that's where trade was done, that's where transportation was done, that's where the ships came in. But also in East Baltimore was Isaac Myers. Isaac Myers, Mr. DeShield would know better than me, Isaac Myers started the National Black Labor Movement. The National Black Labor Movement started right here in Baltimore. So us people from Baltimore, we have a lot to be proud of, and don't let nobody ever tell you otherwise. My name's Doni Glover, and we're going to start giving out these awards. We good, Jack. We just going to do a video. Some shots now.